Okay, so let me share my screen now. Okay. So this is the IS code for the earthquake resistant design of structures, IS 1893 part 1 2002. So now in this we were, so now to understand the seismic coefficient method, so there are the various terms which are involved in the seismic analysis. So these are, first is the zone factor, then importance factor, then response reduction factor, then fundamental natural period. Okay, so these are the various terms which are involved in this method. So you can make a note of this. So just make a note of this. The various factors which are involved in the seismic analysis are as follows. The various factors which are involved in the seismic analysis are as follows. The first one is the zone factor. The second is importance factor. Then we have response reduction factor. Then we have fundamental natural period. Then we have seismic base shear. Okay, so then we have seismic base shear. And then we have the multiplying factors for obtaining values for damping. And then at the end, we have percentage of imposed loads to be considered in seismic weight. So these are the 7 factors which are involved in the seismic coefficient method. So now let us see here. We can see that the importance factor is given. So what is the importance factor? So I think yesterday also we had discussed. So it is a factor used to obtain the design seismic force depending on the functional use of the structure. So basically this is a factor which is assigned to every structure based on what? Based on the functional use of the structure. So every structure is built for its particular function. Okay, so you must have seen this in BDD also, that the functional use of the structure, whether it's a residential, whether it's a public building, or it is a hospital, or it is a school. So these are the functions of the structure. So on the basis of that, the importance factor is assigned to every structure. So here you can see characterized by consequences of its failure, its post earthquake functional need, historic value, or some monuments also. So for that, the importance factor will be different. Okay, so now let us see. Okay, so let us see what is natural period. So here you can see the natural period of a structure is its time period of undamped free vibration. ठीक है, so जो free vibration है without damped, so time period is nothing but the undamped free vibration. ठीक है, so then we have here you can see the response reduction factor. So what is response reduction factor? So it is the factor by which the actual base shear force that would be generated if the structure were to remain elastic during its response to the design basis earthquake. Okay, so response reduction factor, it is nothing but a factor by which the actual base shear that would be generated were to remain elastic. Okay, so basically it depends upon the base shear. So that is what we are going to find out in the numerical. Shall be reduced to obtain the design lateral force. Okay, so ultimately what we have to find out, we have to find out the design lateral force, और वो design lateral force के लिए we have to design the building. Okay, first we'll find out the forces, then the base shear. Base shear is nothing but the design lateral force, and then we will divide that base shear into the lateral force on the building, so that you will understand when we solve the numerical. Okay, so here 3.33 clause, you can see the zone factor also. So what is a zone factor? It is a factor to obtain the design spectrum depending upon the perceived maximum seismic risk characterized by maximum considered earthquake. Okay, so again the zone factor depends upon the maximum considered earthquake in the zone in which the structure is located. So as we have seen yesterday, the zoning is done on the map. So the different areas have been classified on the basis of the severity of earthquake. The basic zone factors included in this standard are reasonable estimate of the effective peak ground acceleration. Okay, so these are nothing but the reasonable estimate based on the data. Okay, so now let us see. So these are just the definitions which I'm showing you. Okay, after this, what we are concerned with when we are solving the numerical is the tables which are given in this for the values. So here you can see table number 1 is the percentage. So this we are not concerned with this. Then table number 2. Okay, so this is important. So this is given on page number 16. Table number 2, the zone factor clause 6.4.2. So for the different seismic zones, the zone factor you have to take from this table. Okay, for zone 2, the zone factor is 0.1, for 3 it is 0.16, and so on. And then okay, so these are the multiplying factors for obtaining values for other damping. And table number 6 is important to find out the importance factor. So yesterday also we had discussed. So the importance factor depends upon the function of the structure. So the importance factor is 1.5 for buildings like, it is given here, telephone exchange, television stations, radio stations, railway stations, fire station building. And for all other types of buildings, it is 1. Okay, so now let us see. And then table number 7 is important, the response reduction factor. So in the question, it will be given to you the type of the structure, whether it is an ordinary moment resisting frame or it is a special moment resisting frame. On the basis of that, you have to select the response reduction factor. For ordinary moment resisting frame, the response reduction factor is 3. For special moment resisting frame, it is 5. Okay, and so on. You can check the values from this table number 7. And then the time period, it is so table number 8 is also important. Table number 8 is percentage imposed load to be considered in the seismic weight calculation. So whenever we are analyzing the structure for seismic forces, first we have to find out the seismic weight of the structure. So in that we have to consider this table. What does this table says? So it says that, so here you can see imposed uniformly distributed floor loads up to and including 3 kilonewton per meter square, the percentage of imposed load should be considered as 25%. Okay, when the live load is up to 3 and including 3, we should consider only 25% of the live load. And when the live load is above 3, we should consider 50% of the live load. So this is what the IS code says as far as the live load calculation of the seismic weight is considered. And then the fundamental natural period. Okay, so yesterday I told you here one h is missing. So this equation is 0.09 into h upon under root d. where h is the height of the building and d is the base dimension of the building. So with this, we can find out the time period. And then after that, we will find out the distribution of design forces. This equation is important, where Q is the design lateral force at the floor I, W is the seismic weight, H is the height of the floor, and N is the number of stories. Okay. So these are the terms which are involved in the method seismic coefficient design. So now let us, I think we have covered all the terms. So now let us start with the numerical. Okay, so all of you please solve simultaneously with me. Yes, is this clear everyone? So shall we start with the numerical now? Okay, so I'll just share my numerical. Okay, so this is a question of the numerical by seismic coefficient method. So what does it say? The plan and elevation of a 3-story RC school building is shown. The building is located in seismic zone 5. The type of the soil is medium stiff, and it is proposed to design the building with special moment resisting frame. The intensity of dead load is 12 kilonewton per meter square and live load is 3 kilonewton per meter square. Determine the design seismic loads on the structure. Yes, is the question clear everyone? I hope the question is clear to everyone. So basically what we have to do, we have to determine the design seismic loads on the structure. Okay, so you can make a note of the problem so that you understand in a better way. So here this is given in the question. Okay, so this is the plan and this is the elevation. So here you can see the plan dimensions are 8 by 8 meters, 8 meter by 8 meters, and this is the elevation. So here you can see the height is 3.5 meter constant up to the roof. Okay, so this is ground, this is first, this is second floor, and this is the roof. So now let us start with the numerical. So what is given data? The given data is seismic zone is given to us, then soil is medium stiff, then structure is special moment resisting frame, and the dead load and the live load is given. Okay, so now let us see what is the first step. We have to find out the design seismic loads. So the first step is we have to calculate the seismic weight of the structure. Okay, so this is the first step. So how will we calculate the seismic weight? So we will find out the weight first on the roof, then on the second floor, and then on the first floor. So seismic weight on the roof, let us say this as W3. It is given by seismic dead load plus seismic live load. Okay, so the seismic weight on the roof is given by dead load plus live load. So seismic dead load कैसे निकालेंगे? This is the plan area into the dead load, which will give us the total load. And seismic live load. ठीक है, seismic live load as per IS 1893 on page number 17, it is mentioned that on the roof the live load is not considered. So let us check that. I will just show you on page number 17. So let me read out that. Okay, clause number 7.3.2. So it states that for calculating the design seismic forces of the structure, the imposed load on the roof need not be considered. Okay, so this is the clause. I hope it is clear now. So that is the reason I have taken this seismic live load as 0. So what are the planned area? This is 8 by 8 and the dead load is 12. So what is the total seismic weight on the roof? It is 768 kilonewton. Is this clear everyone? So far? This step is clear. How we got the seismic weight? Yes or no? Yes, am I audible? Yes, am I audible, everyone? फर्स्ट स्टेप सबको समझ में आया? Seismic weight on the roof. Yes, what about others? Yes, I hope everyone is paying attention to the numerical. Yes. So the clause says that for calculating the design seismic forces of the structure, the imposed load on the roof need not be considered. So that is what the clause says. Okay. So I will just show. Yes, for every problem on the roof, the live load is not considered. Okay, so here you can see clause number 7.3. I hope my IS code PDF is visible now. So 7.3.2 देखो. For calculating the design seismic forces of the structure, the imposed load on the roof need not be considered. Okay, is that fine now? So let us come back to the numerical. Okay, so we have calculated the seismic weight on the roof. Now let us find out the seismic weight on the second floor. So again, it is given by seismic dead load plus seismic live load. So area into dead load and seismic live load क्या है? Area into live load. तो area is the same. अभी live load कितना है? 3 kilonewton per meter square. It is given in the question. But again, as per IS 1893 table 8, the live load मैंने अभी दिखाया था. It should be considered as 25% when the live load is up to 3, and when the live load is greater than 3, it should be considered as 50%. I hope you remembered. We have seen this table in the IS code. Okay, then seismic weight on the first floor is nothing but dead load plus live load. ठीक है, फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे भी सेम रहेगा. So I have directly written 816 kilonewton, and then total seismic weight on the structure W is first floor plus second floor plus roof. So this is coming out to be 2400 kilonewton. Okay, so that was the first step to calculate the seismic weight. This is the most important step. Now let us see what is the second step. The second step is calculation of time period. Okay, so time period is given by 0.075 into h raised to 0.75 without brick infill panels, and the time period is given as 0.09 into h upon under root d with the brick infill panels. ठीक है, तो जहां पे walls है, partition walls और brick walls हैं, so in that case we will find out the time period by the equation 0.09 h upon root d. ठीक है, so in the structure where the brick infill panels are not there, उसमें तुम्हारा equation क्या हो जाएगा? 0.075 h raised to 0.75, where h is the height of the building and d is the base dimension of the building. Okay, so now what is the total height of the building? From the elevation we can see, and the base dimension kitna hai? In this case it is a square, so the base dimension is 8, and total height dekho 3.5 plus 3.5 plus 3.5, it is nothing but 10.5. So here TA is given by 0.09 into h kitna hai? 10.5, and the base dimension is 8 meters. So this is coming out to be 0.334 seconds. Now, since the building is symmetrical in plan TA is same in both the directions. ठीक है, so now you will ask, what if the building is not a square? So in case the building is a rectangular shape, so then we will have to find out time period for both the directions. ठीक है, base dimension एक वैल्यू लेंगे पहले, then the other value, so we will get two values of time period. But in this case, since it is a square, we are getting only one value. Is this clear? Yes.
So what is the actual meaning of this seconds time period?
This, हाँ, what is time period basically? ठीक है, time period you must have seen the time taken to come back to its the mean position से base position. ये this is basically related to the oscillations. ठीक है, जब भी कोई भी स्ट्रक्चर वाइब्रेट होगा तो वो ऑसिलेट होगा. जब भी वाइब्रेट होगा तो जो लोएस्ट पॉइंट से हाईएस्ट पॉइंट तक जाने के लिए एंड देन कमिंग बैक टू द लोएस्ट पॉइंट जितना टाइम लगता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द टाइम पीरियड.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so now we are finding out the time period of the structure. So the time period of the structure should not be very large. ठीक है, तो उसका मतलब क्या है कि उसमें उतना डिफॉर्मेशन ज्यादा हो रहा है. Are you getting? So we have to always check the time period of the structure also. It should not be very low also and it should not be very high also. Why it should not be very low? अगर if the structure is so rigid कि वो तुम्हारा जरा भी मूव भी नहीं हो रहा है, so then there is a problem of failure. ठीक है, so उतना rigid भी नहीं करना है structure. So what we try कि in case of earthquake, if the structure थोड़ा सा little bit it is moving or vibrating, then only the energy will dissipate. Are you getting? If the energy is not dissipated, if the structure is so rigid, then the structure will fail. Is this clear, everyone? Yes. Yes or no? Okay, so now since the building is symmetrical, the time period is same in both the direction. Exactly. ठीक है. So now resting on medium stiff soil. ठीक है, one more information is given in the question. What it is given? The structure is resting on medium stiff soil. So for this, the ratio SA by G is given on page number 16, clause 6.4.5. ठीक है, so page number 16, I will just read out the clause. ठीक है, on page number 16, for different types of soils, the ratio of SA by G is given. Okay, for rocky or hard soil, for medium soil, and for soft soil. So in our case, it is given that it is a medium stiff soil. So SA by G value is 2.5. Okay, I will okay, I'll just show you in the IS code. So here you can see on page number, ठीक है, जहाँ पे टेबल 2 मैंने बताया था जोन फैक्टर, ठीक है, उसके बाजू में here you can see this is page 16. So for rocky or hard soils, SA by G ratio is given for various time periods, and SA by G is given for medium soil and for soft soil. Okay, so the question in the question it is given medium stiff soil. So the ratio time period देखो, it is between 0.1 and 0.55. So the ratio is given by 2.5. Okay, so यहाँ से we got the value. Now let us come back to the numerical. SA by G, we got the value as 2.5. Now what is the third step? Okay, so we got the time period also. So now we got the time period also. The third step is to find out the design based shear. So design base shear VB is given by AH into W, where AH is the design horizontal seismic coefficient and W is the seismic weight of the building. Okay, so ultimately what we want this value. So that is the reason first we calculated the seismic weight of the building. So now to get the base shear, we have the seismic weight of the building, but we don't have the design horizontal seismic coefficient, which is given by AH. So now let us find out the value of AH. So now let us see. AH is given by Z by 2 into I by R into SA by G. Okay. So this is given in clause 6.4.2. So here Z मैंने starting में discuss किया है. Z is nothing but the zone factor. So zone factor for zone 5 is how much? It is given in table 2, that is 0.36. Then what is I? I is nothing but the importance factor. And what is R? R is the response reduction factor. So I kitna hai? For school building it is 1.5. It is given in table 6, page 18. And what is R? Response reduction factor for special moment resisting frame, it is 5. Is this clear, everyone? The value of coefficient AH is given by Z by 2 I by R into SA by G. SA by G ka value we already got, it is 2.5. So now just substitute all these values in the equation of AH and find out the value. So Z is 0.36 by 2, I is 1.5, R is 5 into SA by G is 2.5. So we got the value of design horizontal seismic coefficient AH as 0.135. So now VB, the base shear is given by H into W, which is coming out to be 324 kilonewton. Okay. So this is nothing but 324 kilonewton is your base shear. Now we got the base shear, ठीक है? तो base पे जितना maximum shear develop हो रहा है due to the lateral force, वो अपने को मिल गया है. Now we have to find out कि each floor पे कितना आ रहा है. So now we have to distribute that. So distribution of the design lateral force. Now the design lateral force at different floor is given by the equation this. Okay, so this also we have seen in IS code page number 24. So this is given by VB, that is base shear, into WI into HI square upon summation of WI into HI square. Okay, so now let us see what is this. So first we'll find out for the first floor. Okay, so Q1. So VB Q1 is found out by VB into ये W first floor we are talking about. ठीक है, so ये this I will become 1. So W1 into H1 square upon ये जो denominator है that will be for the whole structure. ठीक है, तो total कितने 3 floors है? So W1, W2 and W3. So now VB is 324. Now W1 is 816. H1 कितना है? 3.5. And this denominator is W1 into H1 square plus W2 into H2 square, where H1 is ठीक है from the base ground floor, H2 second floor पे कितना हो जाएगा 7 और roof पे कितना हो जाएगा 10.5. So this Q1 we are getting as 24.5 kilonewton. Then similarly we will find out the design lateral force on the second floor. ठीक है, so second floor में VB is the same, but the numerator will change. ठीक है, this WI is again same and H is on the second floor, it is 7. So this will become 7 square and this denominator will remain the same. Similarly, on the roof floor, this height will become 10.5. The denominator will remain the same. So we have calculated the design lateral force on each floor. Okay, on the first floor, it is 24. On the second floor, it is 96. And on the third floor, it is 203. So now let us show these forces in the figure. So this is the final step to show the lateral forces on the figure. So this is the plan. So here you can see on the first floor, the lateral force is 24. The second floor, it is 96. So on the third floor, it is 203. And this is nothing but the shear diagram. This is the base shear. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे बेस शेयर, ठीक है, बेस शेयर मतलब बॉटम में शेयर मैक्सिमम रहेगा, करेक्ट, बॉटम में इट इज फिक्स्ड. सो यहाँ पे 324 है and if you subtract 24 from that you will get 299. And then if you subtract 1996 from that, you will get 203. So this is the base shear diagram, and this is the lateral force diagram. So that is the numerical. Is this clear, everyone? Yes. Understood, everyone? The numerical. If anyone has any doubt, they can ask me. Okay. So I think it is not that difficult. Okay. So I have written this in a very systematic manner, step by step, so that you can easily understand this. Okay. If anyone has any doubt, they can ask me. We have last 3 minutes. Yeah, it is easy. Quite easy it is. So numerical. And anyways, this is the first time that this topic is included. So you can expect these numericals in the exam also. Yes, this sum is completed. We have completed this numerical. This was the last step. Okay, we have one more type of numerical, but this type is completed. Okay, so basically I've told you, okay, this is the first time this topic is introduced. So we don't have the previous sample questions. So if it is going to come, so that will be for the first time. So you can assume 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 basically. Okay, so it depends upon the examiner. But still you can assume between 8 to 10. Okay, so we have last 2 minutes remaining. If anyone has any doubt, they can ask me.